So hello, everyone. We're really excited for all of you to be here, and also for those who are watching the recording in YouTube. We are here to talk about the Mental Health in Journalism Summit, and more specifically, how you can send your proposals for sessions for the summit. My name is Mar Cabra. I'm the Executive Director of the Self-Investigation and one of its co-founders. For those of you who don't know the Self-Investigation, let me just introduce you who we are, because I think it might be important also so you understand who's behind, who's one of the organizations behind this summit. So the Self-Investigation is a nonprofit that was created at the beginning of the pandemic as a way to support journalists with their mental health and well-being. And since we started, we've trained more than 10,000 journalists from all over the world, provided hundreds of coaching sessions, supported media organizations directly in English and in Spanish from different parts of the world. We're based in the Netherlands, but we cater to the whole world because we believe that in order to sustain quality journalism, we need mentally healthy journalists, and that's why we exist. And I think that what is key is that we also work with other institutions that are doing journalism support and supporting journalists and media freedom worldwide. And at the same time, we also work directly with media companies. We've worked with The Guardian, AFP, and other media organizations from around the world, because the way to create change, to create the mental health revolution that we need in journalism, to create mentally healthy media organizations, starts inside the media companies, which are the organizations that have the duty of care on their employees and all of us journalists. So we're really excited to be here today talking about the Mental Health in Journalism Summit. It's a summit that it's the first time we're doing it, and we're really excited to have launched it in collaboration with almost 20 partners from around the world, and we'll tell you more about them in a second. Some of them are here today with us. Thank you for coming to all our partners. And it's exciting because we know we need to create a globally connected movement to really make a push towards mentally healthy journalism. And we need that push to be global and all of us to be connected. So this is what the summit is about, is a convening that it's going to happen online. So it's accessible from the 8th to the 10th of October, because on the 10th of October is World Mental Health Day. And we're going to be learning from each other and seeing what people in different parts of the world are doing, and also trying to join forces so that we lift up this industry and start ending up with all these toxic workplaces that we have, and also breaking down the stigma around mental health, because it is very important to understand that we all might have mental health challenges and can be amazing journalists. So this is all from me that I wanted to say. I want to introduce you to the person who's going to be leading this session, Ángela Rodríguez. She's Spanish, but joining us from Italy, and she's the project manager of the summit. So she's going to be able to tell you a bit more about the summit. And most importantly today, the main issue that we're going to be discussing today is how you can contribute to the summit, because we want to co-create the agenda with all the voices, all your voices from all around the world. So Ángela, welcome.
Thank you, Mar. Thank you. Well, as Mar said, I'm Ángela Rodríguez. I'm a journalist also myself, and also in the past years, I've been working in communication departments and also in another non-profit journalism organizations, organizing different kind of events for our big community of journalists. I joined the Self-Investigation by the end of April. And I'm very happy to be here and leading this incredible global mental health in journalism summit. So I'm here to tell you a little bit more about the call for proposals and the summit. And I would need Mar help here because Zoom doesn't allow me to share my screen in the way I log in. So if you don't mind to share the slides for me.
No problem, we're a team.
Yeah, thank you. So Yes, so we can start with the first slide, that is this one. As I said, we opened our call for proposals last Wednesday, not last Wednesday, I mean, it was not last Wednesday, 2 Wednesday before, May 29th. And we opened it to co-create the summit with everybody, I mean, with every single person of the world, because as you can see here, the summit is global and online and free. We want to hear from case studies, from experiences, professional and personal experiences from everybody in the world. So you have here the deadline. The deadline is June 18th. You can find also more information in our website, Mental Health MH, journalismsummit.org. If you can go to the next slide. Thank you. Well, these call for proposals have very important deadlines to keep in mind. So as I said before, from May 29th until June 19th is the call for proposals period. You have time until June 19th to send your proposal. The evaluation period started already the day after we opened the call for proposal, because our strategic partners that you're going to see in a few minutes in the next slides have started to evaluate, to assess the proposals that are already, I mean, that they already came. So we have partners in each region. We have in the US and Canada, and our Latin America, MENA, and Asia. And in Europe, the self-investigation will be assessing the proposals. Besides assessing the European proposals, the self-investigation team will also assess the final, let's say, top proposals that our strategic partners send to us. We will double check and double evaluate them. July 12th, we finalized the final selection. And the week of July 15th, we will inform the selected participants. So if you are selected, you will receive an email from us that you will be part of the summit program in October. Next
yes,
slide.
let me just add something here. So you can pitch sessions in English or in Spanish, because we are hosting the summit in English mostly, and we'll get to that in a second. Angela, is going to give you the description of how the agenda is going to look like. But in addition to having most of the sessions in English, we're going to have a whole bonus track in Spanish. So just know that if you're a Spanish speaker, feel free to pitch in any of the two languages, to send us your proposal in any of the two languages. And then something else exciting, we already have almost 850 people registered, and the summit will happen in October, and we're recording this in June. So we're expecting more than 1,000 people registering, and it's an amazing opportunity for you to get in front of a big audience and share also all these amazing projects that I'm sure you're doing.
Yes, and this is our partners, the outreach partner that we have a few of them today joining this session, and the strategic partners that these are the ones who are going to assess the proposals that are coming from North America and Canada, the US and Canada, sorry, the MENA region, Latin America, Asia, and Africa and Europe. And yeah, next slide. So which type of sessions we are looking for? We are looking for two types of sessions. Let's say the typical summit sessions, conference sessions. They are the keynotes, panel, case studies, and workshops, and lightning talks, and other type of sessions that they are the well-being sessions, like more proactive. So coming back to the summit sessions, so you can see here that you can apply with a keynote, with a panel with your colleagues, or with case studies. The panels, I mean, if you, or even the keynotes, if you want to do a joint session with somebody, please make sure that the other person or persons also confirm their assistance. So it's not like I have in mind these three names, but the other three names I mean, they didn't confirm you that they want to do this session. So make sure that if you apply with somebody else, everybody is on board to do the summit together. So and coming back to the timing, because it's something that we pay attention to, is the keynotes will remain as usual, right? A 20-minute talk plus 10-minute Q&A, panels, case studies, and then you will see in the next slide will be a 50-minute sessions. So workshops and case studies will be a 50-minute sessions, and also the panels, and this includes also potential Q&A, of course. Lightning talks, as the name says, they are like very short sessions. They will be like a 5-minute session, and we will have blocks of 5 to 6 lightning talks under a theme. So if you want to apply with a few of them, you just need to fill out the form 4 or 5 times. And also, if you want to apply for a lightning talk or workshop or a panel, you can apply to as many sessions as you wish, but you have to fill out again the formula.
Yes, something to add to that, Angela, is
Yes.
What are the differences between the different type of sessions, right? And they might seem evident, but let me just be clear, just in case, right? So if you have an inspiring idea, you have an inspiring story to share, and you feel like you can share that in about 20 to 30 minutes, then keynote is the right format. Panel is if you want to share the conversation with colleagues, and this is the more straightforward type of session, right? You like sit down on a table, virtual table, because again, this is going to happen online, and you talk about a topic, and there's going to have to be one moderator and a few colleagues sharing. Case studies, we really want this summit to be a convening where we talk about what works and what doesn't, so that we don't have to reinvent the wheel every time, right? So I know there are colleagues in different parts of the world, Nepal, Canada, in Colombia, doing well-being programs, for example, for journalists. Well, what can we learn from Nepal or Canada or Colombia, so that if I do my program in Spain, I can bring these lessons, right? So anything that is around lessons learned, things that you've tried out inside your media organization, with your community, with your media support organization, or even at a personal level, those are the case studies. And then workshops, it's more practical. So a typical workshop could be how to prevent burnout in this day and age, which is one of the big topics in journalism, right? So it is about tips and practicalities on how to do that. And then, of course, lightning talks is a short period of time. So maybe you want to share what you've done, but you feel like 5 minutes is enough. Then the lightning talk is for you, right? So it is very important that when you think of your idea, you think in terms of how much time do I think I need to explain this, and what would be the best format to showcase what I want to share with the colleagues.
Yes, and thank you for this explanation, Mar. And then the other kind of activities we are looking for is the well-being activities. It's more like the out-of-the-box sessions. As you can see here, we invite coaches, facilitators, yoga Pilates instructors, or any other professional with experience in the media and with a relevant skills in mental health, for example, music therapy, dance, anything related to art, writing, this type of workshops that could be workshops. It depends how you propose it in the summit, but in the proposal, but these type of activities that help people to connect with their inner self, with their well-being. So it can be, let's say, anything from the art area, coaching, as you can see here, one-on-one sessions, And I like to highlight something here. You can hear me well because it's raining so heavily. Yes?
Sí,
okay.
we hear you, no problem.
Okay, great. So the one-on-one sessions with a coach or maybe with a psychologist, we really ask for a certification. It's really important to have a professional certification to lead this kind of activities because we're, of course, treating with people that they seek advice, that seek some tips regarding their situation, and we need somebody with a professional background on this. Important to highlight also is that all these well-being activities are pro bono. So it's for free. The person who wants to deliver these sessions is not going to be paid. It's something that the person does for our community. And also these activities, as I said before, that we are trying to figure out a really nice timing for the conference is also 50 minutes.
And just to be clear, all these proposals that you'll be submitting will be a pro bono contribution from you to the community, not just the well-being activities, like it happens in many other journalism conferences. We're here to learn from each other, from our experience, and sharing with the community. So just to be clear about that as well.
True. Really good point. Yeah. So now, important, how to apply. After all the theory, how to apply. So you have to go to our website, is the selfinvestigation.com/summit. And then something like the next slide, it will appear. This is the site of our selfinvestigation/summit website. You have just to scroll down a bit and you can see here call for proposals, and then click on submit your proposal, and it will appear the Airtable formula. You have here all the information that I've already told you, the type of sessions we are looking for, summit sessions and well-being activities. And now I think that I can already share my screen, Mar. Let me try. Yeah, I think I see. Ooh, oh, let me see. Sorry, again, so we can do it together. So you can see how. Okay. No, I cannot. So if you can do it for me, Maris, because I was seeing your screen, that's why I saw the screen share. So if you don't mind to go to our websites and show them. Yeah, thank you.
Maybe you can continue speaking and I'll just share in a second.
Yes, so it's the process is very simple. I mean, their table formula you're going to see now. You only have to write your name, surname, LinkedIn profile or portfolio, and then we will ask you to write a title, a very concise title, a very brief description of the session you want to lead. And very important for us is what the attendees will bring home, and also how engaging is going to be your session. As Mari is doing, is like you click, have you registered as an attendee with a summit session, for example, and you can see first name, last name, pronouns, email address, the typical questions about yourself. Also, if you have spoken at a summit, conference, or another public event, please provide the links, because I mean, it's not that you're going to be selected, but it helps us and it helps the strategic partner to see how your skills are in public speaking, how you engage with your community. So every examples you have from previous events that you attended or workshops you led, please put there the links. Also, you have the option after this, what type of session do you like to lead? And as I told you before, if you have a few proposals, every time you want to submit a new one, you have to start the process all over. So if you want to submit now a keynote, you complete the formula with your keynote proposal, and then you open a new link and you will complete it for a case study, for example. You have here, write the title of your session, very short, brief description of your session, also very short. And very important is these two questions that I was telling you just a few minutes before. What takeaways will attendees get after joining this session? And how will you ensure the session is engaging even through the screen? Because we cannot forget that this is an online event. We've been through the pandemic, all of us. So it is a screen fatigue sometimes. So how engaging you are going to do it. So that's very important. And also it's a key point that the strategic partners are going to have in mind when evaluating your proposals. And then we ask you if you want to be recorded the day of the summit or not. If you don't want to be recorded, it doesn't matter. I mean, we don't do it, and it's not like this excludes you from the process. Of course not. I mean, if you don't want to be recorded, you will be in the program, and the day of the program, you don't, or the day of the summit, we will not record you. Then we will ask also for your availability, which days are you, I mean, will you available to speak at the summit? And besides the topic you suggest, what other topics, right, you would like to hear and listen from somebody that is speaking at the summit. And that's it. You submit, we will receive your proposal, we will send it to the partners, and the evaluation begins. And the week of July 15, you will know if you are one of the selected candidates to be part of the program.
Thank you, Angela. One thing to be clear about is it is important that you're registered in the summit first before submitting the proposal. So we've done this demo with a yes, I've registered for the summit. If you haven't, please register. And actually, if you put no, it will tell you how to register. It's a link. It takes 2 minutes. Remember, registering for the summit is free, but it is important that you do that before submitting your proposal so that you're registered in the right databases to receive information. Okay, so if you haven't registered for the summit and you want to submit a proposal, register for the summit first.
Yes, and let me see where we are now. At the type of program. So we drafted a program that we have in mind to do. Yeah, here it comes. So this is the draft program. So as we said, the conference is global. So the main language of the conference will be English, but as we mentioned before, we will have a bonus of a 2-hour bonus just for Spanish sessions. So we will start the day at 1 CAT. Then you will in the next slide you will see the timing in the different time zones, with the sessions in English, with a keynote, with parallel sessions in English, but also we can have some sessions in Spanish. It's something that we're also have in mind, and we will be discussing the upcoming weeks. But even if you're coming from Latin America or Spain and you want to submit a session in English, of course, you can be in the English session of the program. You don't have to be like in the Spanish one. You can be in both. And also you can submit a session in English and then submit another proposal in Spanish if you wish that. Then we will have another block of the wellbeing activities, and we will finish with the wellbeing activities. And let's say the wrap-up session, we will merge with the Spanish bonus session. We will finish the English one, and we will continue with the Spanish block. And the Spanish block, as you can see here, it will be a 2-hour block with sessions in Spanish, just in Spanish. And this is the time zone. So we will start at 1 p.m. in Milan, Italy. It will be a bit maybe too early for New York, but I mean 8, 9 a.m. in New York, in North America. It will be like the time zone more appropriate for the English sessions. You know, that's why we did that. And also for the Asian part, they will have also a couple of hours before going to bed. So it will be the English sessions for them. Then the Spanish sessions, that's why they started a bit later, because it's a bonus just for them, a 2-hour block. So it will be later in their 1 to 1 p.m.
And some question that we normally get asked is, do I have to attend all of them? Do I have to wake up at 7 a.m. in New York City, or if I'm in the West Coast of the US, for example, it would be too early for me? You don't have to worry. You come to the sessions that you can, and some of them will be recorded. That will be displayed in the agenda, and you might be able to see some sessions afterwards through the recording. Okay, so we understand it's difficult to get all the time zones to work, so that was our solution, and hopefully you get to join us at some point at some of the hours that work for you wherever you are.
Exactly, because it's difficult, as Mar just said, like to organize a global conference and where everybody can be happy, right? So, but we try to make a nice balance, and well, the sessions, most of them, hopefully, will be recorded, and later we will be uploaded on YouTube on our website. So, next important point of this session: what makes a proposal stand out? So, what will have the strategic partners in mind when they are assessing your proposal? So, important one is that the title is clear and engaging and short, so straight to the point. The description is already kind of brief in the formula, but even if it's brief, highlight the key points of your session. That's the most important thing. Then showcase relevant experience. As I said before, important if you have really links to former conference, webinars you led. I mean, it doesn't guarantee your selection, but it will really, be like, okay, could be a +1. I can see this person speaking in public. I can see this person how is engaging with the audience, how is conducting a workshop, and so on. So please, everything you have, put it in the box with all the links. So the strategic partners and also ourselves, we will have a look at them. In the case you want to lead a well-being session, and also have a workshop, also put your certifications, especially if it's a coaching session, one-to-one. So that's very, very important. And to your website, to my business website, to my creative website, everything that shows your work, put it in the box. That's very important as well. And next slide is, I think
it's this one. Yes,
okay.
This is the last slide.
I've already finished.
I guess what's important once again is that you mark this date in your calendars, which is June 19th. We will be receiving proposals until the end of the day in the last time zone of the world, which is PST, Pacific time, so 23:59 PST will be the last proposals that can come in. So make sure to submit your proposals on time. And I think that with that, and that reminder, which is the most important reminder, we really wanted to hear from your questions. And this is a session to really get to understand, your ideas or any questions that you might have from what we said. Just as a reminder, we are recording the session. If by any chance you don't want your question to be recorded, please put it in the chat and we'll just read it out loud. And if not, it will get recorded and posted later in YouTube so that it's of use to the whole community.
There is a question already from Deborah de Paula. Deborah, I can reply to you. The presentations, they can also be in Spanish. We have two our blog just in Spanish, but and also in English. So Portuguese so far, we are not going to do sessions in Portuguese, but if you also speak Spanish, you can apply with a Spanish session. If not, it has to be in English.
Yes, and to that question, the reality is that, you know, we're a small nonprofit. We're doing this with a mighty team of partners that are helping us reach all the points of the world. And at the same time, we don't have capability to have all the languages in the world. However, if you do feel that you will have a community that will be interested in this, feel free to also pitch it in Portuguese, and we can have it in mind to see whether there's a session in Portuguese, because of course, Portuguese is a very widely spoken language, and we had not thought about this, but we can consider it. Or another possibility is maybe you pitch it in English and leave a note saying that you would like to have it in Portuguese, right? In the Spanish-speaking session, the bonus track, we were thinking of having most in Spanish, and at the same time, Brazil is part of like Iberoamerica, right? So the whole community, Latin America and beyond, right? So we can think whether maybe it deserves a spot in the bonus track in the Spanish-speaking section. I cannot make promises, but again, we want to be as inclusive as possible. It's the first time we do the summit. And if you feel you have a strong community to rally so that they join your session in your language, feel free to pitch it and we'll have it into consideration. Ideally, though, English and Spanish, as Angela was saying.
Jane, asking your question, do we need to include info in our proposals about whether or not we wish to playback video or access a website? You can write it, but it's not necessary. Maybe it will be necessary if you are selected, and that will be an important point, especially for from the technical side, to know if you're going to play a video or open a link. But I mean, it's not mandatory. If you want to include it, fantastic. So the partners will have also more info of what you are going to do, especially if in terms of engagement, that will be nice.
Yes, and on that note, just know that if your proposal is selected, we will give you very specific instructions on what needs to happen afterwards. So step by step, so we'll be sending that. However, it is also important to note that there's a field in the proposal explaining how you're going to make it engaging, right? So using different visual materials is a way to make it engaging. So on that note, I think that it might be worth just referring to the engaging part of using different multimedia elements. And I see a comment talking about the web of the application portal. Let me actually just share the screen once again, and maybe Angela, you can put the link in the chat.
Yes,
but I think
I'm on it.
Yes, you're on it. Perfect. And let me just share the screen again, because we basically have a very simple website URL, which is mhjournalismsummit.org. If you go to that website, you'll get to see all like our website with the summit information and the link for sending the proposal, right? So this is the easiest way to access. Also, if you want to share with your colleagues or you want to talk about it with anybody in your community, just know that that is the key link to share, mhjournalismsummit.org. In any case, Angela just put it in the chat, so that's also helpful. And if you want to ask any question via voice, feel free to unmute yourselves as well.
And yeah, I'm going to also share the link in Spanish right now. And this is the link for the Spanish session.
Okay, so thank you for this question. And let me read it out loud. Is there a way to submit ideas without being the facilitator or expert on the panel? I'm working in a newsroom and there are mental health issues I'd love to see addressed at the summit, but I don't have the expertise myself. This is such a key question. Thank you for asking it. Angela, what should we recommend in this situation?
I mean, we would love to hear from you, definitely. Or if you have some ideas that you think that you can do a joint session with somebody, that it's a good one. I mean, if you have some friends in journalism that you can be part of that, or even if you consider that you're not expert enough, you can promote the summit and the call for proposals among your journalism colleagues or friends or even mental health experts to participate in the summit.
In any case, I just put in the chat our email address in connection with the summit, which is summit@theselfinvestigation.com. So if you want to share some of those ideas with us so that we have it into consideration, that you think these are important topics for you, and then we can have them into consideration when we receive the proposals, that's also okay. So we're trying to gather ideas from all over our community to make the best summit possible that is most tailored to what you think it's needed. So if you don't, in addition to what Angela said, if you don't know anybody that can do it, don't worry, send us an email. We'll hear your ideas and try to cater for that need.
Yes, exactly. Because also in the, if you remember, there is a box in the Airtable form where we ask for another ideas besides your own proposal. So if you, Romy, don't find anybody, just write to this email all the ideas you would like to see and to listen to, even if you are just, a watcher, like you are just watching the summit.
And for sure, please register to the summit. Once again, it's actually the right time. I know October sounds like very far down the line. And at the same time, we're going to be doing a lot of communications around the summit from now to October. And if you register now, you'll be getting all this info and being part of the community. We have some other exciting ideas we cannot share yet about how to involve people who are not just going to be hosting sessions. So feel free to register to get all this info in time.
If you have more questions, you can write them in the chat or even unmute yourselves and ask us.
Yes, something that we did yesterday in the Spanish-speaking session that we had was also to brainstorm some story ideas. So if you have any, story ideas, proposal ideas. This is the journalist, old journalist in me. Proposal ideas, and we can do that now live, or when we finish the session, we're more than happy to stay and discuss with you whether you have any specific questions around your proposal.
Okay.
Yes, so let me read it out loud so that you can answer it, Angela. I'm not sure if I understood correctly about the pro bono, but this means that basically this is volunteer work for the community, right?
Exactly. Daniela, if you want to, it doesn't matter which type of proposal you want to submit to the summit, it's pro bono. You are not going to be paid, even if you want to do a keynote session, being part of a panel, or lead a Pilares class. It's pro bono. You're doing it for free.
Yes, so a contribution as well, right? So, that's also why we also ask you to propose something that it's close to you, dear to your heart, that you use this opportunity to show what you've done, to get the attention of people beyond your community, and be able to share your knowledge. You don't have to prepare anything, from scratch, because of course it's volunteer work that we're doing for this.
Okay. Thank you. We wait for your question.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Any other questions? Okay, let me read it out loud, Angela. Do you expect an official diploma in, for example, a dance session?
For a dance session, it will be nice, but if you have, Daniela, links to some YouTube videos or your own website with your business, it will be great. Certificates are, let's say, necessary when we're talking about coaching, because they're going to be coach or psychologists. So we ask for that because it's a one-to-one session, and it's going to be very important to know who is giving this advice to people that really need it. For arts, dance, or other type of therapy, it's better to have your own portfolio or links to some sessions you did in the past, for example.
Exactly. And I think that it's important at a minimum that you explain, or like dance, how the session is going to go and why you're the right person to do it, right? Sometimes in dance, I do dance myself. I love that contemporary dance. I don't have any certificate. And at the same time, I've been dancing for almost 30 years in my life, right? Well, put that in the box as well, so that we see the relevant experience that you have in order to lead that activity. Let me read out another question, Angela, here. For the question on previous events, do we just put links, or do we add some commentary on what the events workshops were about?
Okay, Felista, if you don't have the links, you can add the commentary on what events. So, or even the link if you appear in the program or whatever. If there is no video, just write in which event you took part, and it will be enough.
Yes, and it all depends, right? I guess make it easy for the reviewers. That's what I would say, right? So if you can explain in one line why that link is relevant, that makes it easy for the reviewers as well, right? So try to think of the people on the other end reviewing your proposal. Again, it's about understanding why you, and why do you have the relevant experience on this topic, and why you think you're engaging enough to have that space in the summit.
Exactly, it's a good point. It's like you are selling, to put in these words, yourself to be chosen to be part of the program, right? So think of the others, as Matt said, like that are assessing you.
Yes, we already have, and there's still 1 week, but we already have about 40 proposals already, and we hope to double that at the minimum. So there's a lot of things that we need to review. Whatever you do to make it easy and for your proposal to stand out would be great. Okay, another question, Angela, let me read it to you. My organization is a nonprofit which works on media development. We are currently running a project which has a program on gender advocacy and capacity building. Under this program, we are also providing mental health support to women journalists. Can we develop a case study on this?
Oh, of course, that's the answer. Definitely, yes. Send the proposal because it sounds really nice. Sarwat, Nadia Sarwat, sorry. So yes, please. It's a good one, and I think that well, it will be, I don't know, well assessed, but it's a good topic.
Yes, and just so you know, so that we don't get confused, you don't need to develop a whole case study like Harvard Business School format, okay? We called it case study so that we all understand that in that type of session, we're gonna get to go deep into how it was done and why it worked and the lessons learned and the things that didn't work, okay? So definitely a case study would be the right format for that. Another possibility, if that's simpler for you, is you could also have a panel with participants of the program or the trainers to explain how it went. Okay, so you need to decide whether maybe you want to do it more, as a panel, or want to do it more as in, let me show you how we did it. And that would be a case study. And another question, will the summit be on Zoom? Will it be possible to have breakout groups as part of the engagement? And how would one-on-one sessions work as part of the online summit? So I guess that's 3 questions in one.
Yeah, that's a good question, Felista. We're still figuring out which type of platform we're going to use, but definitely is going to be one that offers these engagement tools like breakout rooms, one-to-ones. So we're still figuring out. So I think that by the end of the summer, I mean August or so on, we will let you all know in which platform is going to be.
And on that note, however, again, because there's a field in the form that says how are you going to engage with the audience and how is the session going to flow, it would be ideal that you state there what your needs are and whether you think that breakout rooms or like getting people in small groups would be necessary. Because of course that's also important for us to know when we then assign things. And Angela, this question about one-on-one sessions, how would one-on-one sessions work as part of an online summit?
Sorry, yeah, I missed it. Yes, the one-on-one sessions, they are going to be part of the well-being sessions. So they're going to be in one block. So one-to-one sessions, there are the coaching sessions, let's say, and we will have also yoga, art, and and dancing and so on. So it will be part of the well-being sessions.
Yes, and on that note, again, we really appreciate your patience. It's the first time we're hosting this summit. We don't know what the community is going to propose. So hopefully also based on all your proposals, we're going to get to adapt our previous preconceived idea on how the summit would look like. But as you saw, and I'm happy to share the agenda once again, let me see if I can share with you the proposed agenda, so the draft program, so that you see it. Basically, we're going to be having, as Angela was saying, right? We're going to have some keynote, but then there are going to be parallel sessions with these workshops, lightning talks, and case studies. And then there's going to be a whole block of parallel sessions for the well-being activities. Okay, so at a minimum, they will happen in that block that we're anticipating. Again, this is a draft happening from 4 to 5 CET. So there will be like a whole parallel track of well-being activities. If we get a lot of coaches or a lot of therapists wanting to suggest one-on-one sessions, then we will have to think about other formula, but we'll make it happen. So we're just going to adapt depending on what happens. Hopefully that answers the question. Okay. Yes, and I think that there are some comments, right? Also here in the chat, Angela, it's saying like, one of the people talked about session, like a program of mental health for women, but why not men too? Because of course, the sessions could be about all genders. If you are having a program addressing all types of genders, you can also do it as well. At the same time, we understand and appreciate that there are very specific programs for very specific groups, and especially underrepresented populations. And we believe that that's also important because data shows that underrepresented groups and underrepresented communities are at a higher risk of mental health challenges. So we will welcome very specific proposals for underrepresented groups as well. Okay, so another question, Angela. I'm a psychologist and a journalist. I would like to know if a research on journalists' mental health would also be welcome for presentation proposal.
Yes, Tricia, yes, because I mean, I've also received in the past week some questions about if academic work with work for the summit. And yes, you can present it as a case study with other peers in a panel, in a workshop, but definitely we welcome academic research as well. Yes.
Yes, and something worth noting is that one of the things we're going to be doing is looking at all of the proposals and seeing similarities from different parts of the world, right? So one of the things that we're seeing already from the questions we're getting from you is that people doing research on the mental health state of journalists in their own country, right? So just know that we might suggest a merge with other people that are suggesting a similar session, right? So we were just talking to a colleague in Costa Rica. If you listen to the Spanish-speaking session, you'll see she was proposing the same thing. So maybe if we get you, I don't know what's your country, but like if you're proposing what you're doing in your country, the Costa Rica colleague is proposing something in Costa Rica, and then they have 3 or 4 more countries, maybe we do something just about what the research that is being done, right? So just know that we can suggest mergers because that's part of the beauty of it, right? That there are many of us trying things out from different parts of the world, but we don't know about each other. So part of the goal of this summit is to get to know about each other and join forces and maybe establish collaborations. I see Karina. Yes.
You can unmute yourself, Karina.
Morning. Good morning. I love this proposal, this initiative. I found it very powerful, really. Thank you very much. And I would like to ask you if you know how many people in spoken Spanish people do you have till now? Do you know percentage?
I can tell you that I don't want to say a 50-50, but I would say like a 35%, 40.
30.
I mean,
okay.
that apply. I mean, do you mean for the proposals or that they register for the summit?
No. Participants.
Yes, participants. Yeah, it's very high, the number. Yeah.
Okay. But only 2 hours in Spanish.
Yes.
Half, but only 2 hours. Okay.
Well, but just let me just add a nuance to that, Karina, which is it's not just 2 hours because there are going to be parallel sessions. Again, perfect. During the whole 3 days, you know, from the 8th to the 10th of October, some parts of the agenda are going to be in parallel. How many parallel sessions? We don't know. We anticipate maybe 3 or 4 parallel sessions, but who knows? We're really adapting depending on what we get. So it's not just 2 hours. Remember, like there's going to be duplication in the parallel sessions.
Perfect. And can the same topic be presented in Spanish and in the English session in both? Yes. If you feel that is really important. Okay. Yes. So we can make two applies. Yeah.
Yes, you can apply in English and you can apply in Spanish. If you want to apply for, I don't know, well-being session in Spanish and to do a keynote in English, you can do it. I mean, you can apply as many times as you wish. So there is no problem.
Thank you very much.
Yes, but that's important, right? That you submit the proposal twice because it's going to be reviewed by different people.
Yes.
So it is important that you submit it twice, ideally one in Spanish, although the whole team is bilingual. So we don't want to make you work. You can submit it, if you want, in English, but make sure that you submit it twice, one stating that it's in Spanish. At a minimum, put the title in Spanish. Or Google Translate the other part, so it's easy. Great. We're seeing some amazing comments here about maybe using a different tool that it's not Zoom, that it's Hopin.
Yes.
And we'll just have it in mind as well, because of course it offers things like speed dating and other possibilities. So thank you for that suggestion, Vera. And amazing. Also, Tricia, you were talking about, I asked where you were from, the Philippines. So amazing, right? So you're doing research in the Philippines about the state of mental health of journalists in the Philippines, which I can imagine is, you're dealing with a lot of challenges due to the current circumstances there. What can we learn from the Philippines and apply in other parts of the world? Or maybe there's a conversation for you to be had between you and the colleague from Costa Rica as an example, right? Yeah. So yeah, please feel free to pitch that. It would be amazing to make it happen. Any other questions? We're running out of time, but more than happy to stay here to answer all the questions. If there are any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat or unmute yourselves, as Karina did. Okay, so I don't see any more questions. Let me just close officially this session and just say that Angela and I can stay in this call if you want to talk to us, quote unquote, one-on-one, right? And talk about your specific idea. And I said quote unquote is because it's like we're going to leave the room open, like if we were in a room to talk about it. So maybe others that stay can listen to it, but more than happy to talk about your specific proposal if you want to discuss here. Before we go, another question: when will the videos be available on YouTube? We'll try to make them available as soon as possible after the summit. However, that's something that we're still discussing. So they will be available at some point after the summit, but at this point, I cannot make commitments for what will happen in October.
For this video.
This video, sorry, I thought you meant the videos of the conference, and I'm thinking, I don't know, in November, October. Oh, yes. So we're going to upload this video automatically to YouTube after this conversation. We will be sharing the link with all of you probably tomorrow in an email. So you'll get and this is a key question also for those of you who are outreach partners who are here and want to disseminate in your communities. We will be sending you the link so that you can also spread the word in your communities so that anybody can watch this up to, so that they can submit proposals up to June 19th. So any last words, Angela, before we leave?
No, I mean, I want to say thank you very much to all of you for joining this session. I mean, we had a really nice talk. Thank you for your questions and for your interest. And yeah, I hope to see your proposals in the upcoming weeks.
Yes, thank you so much. And once again, really excited from the self-investigation to be organizing this in partnership with all our amazing summit partners and also with the co-financing of the Fred Foundation, to which we're very grateful for, because thanks to their contribution, we're able to make it happen. So thank you so much. Looking forward to your proposals and also to seeing you in the summit. Muchas gracias. Bye.
Ciao.